Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Of Two Mindsets. I am D Hill, and what an incredible weekend this has been. Some great, or great is probably not the word, but some incredible events have taken place for those who, if you've been under a rock, don't know. And it's been very strange because my man RJ is like a psychic. Uh, about a week ago, he said we should talk about guns. And I'm like, man, guns is sort of an old topic. But then all of a sudden, it's not an old topic anymore. RJ, say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
Thank you. Thank you. The psychic himself. And
Rostradamus.
on the other side, we have my brother from another mother, Izzy. Izzy, how's it going?
Everything going great, man. No complaints. Ready to get to it.
Excellent. And like I was saying, it's very strange that we had previously decided that we were going to talk about guns in this episode, and the event involving President Trump came about. And it's very weird, but everybody has their own ideas about what happened. But we're going to start off the way we had planned on, and that's talking about guns. Uh, our country, the United States, for those who are in other countries, you may not know, we have a big problem here with guns. At least some people consider it to be a problem. There have been mass shootings that dominate the headlines every year, and people are afraid in certain settings. So we'll start off with the question, and we'll start with Izzy. Do you carry? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
I believe in carrying, and I think that's one of the things that is right about this country. Um, I always say that if other countries had guns like we do, they wouldn't have half the problems they have. And I think that's one of the things. Our ability to carry and bear arms is one of the things that keep us from pretty much being overtaken by the government itself and pretty much being slaves. Without that, I think I say it like this. In other countries, you have a well-informed, it seems like a lot of the population is more well-informed, but their gun laws are way more stricter. And so although they have the heart to fight against the powers that be, they don't have the weapons. See, here it's the opposite. I feel like we got more guns, but we're not as well informed, and that's the issue. If we could get that part right, I think this things would be a whole lot better here. But I do believe in carrying.
RJ, carrying.
Yes.
Do you do it? Is it good to carry a gun? Or is that too far for the average citizen?
Um, for me personally, no, I don't carry. Um, Even when I was younger and I don't think, maybe not as smart as I think I am right now, you know, I didn't feel the need to carry then. I guess for me it's I think about my father, I think about my grandfather, um, I think about my uncles. I've got my father's got well 4 5 brothers. None of them that I knew of carried a pistol or a gun. So when you said something, you opened up, you said people in America are afraid. I I I don't want to say that is the reason some people carry guns, but you know, I don't know. It's just something I never felt the need. Even if I was gonna go someplace where I felt that I needed to carry a gun, I probably wouldn't go there. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Now, as far as protecting your home, things of that nature, okay, I can rationalize, you wanting to have a gun, but to be the person that takes the gun everywhere with them, that I can't rationalize. You're taking the gun to church, you're taking the gun to the grocery store. I don't. I mean, I don't quite. I can't rationalize that, and I think even to go further, right, we have the right to bear arms. What I'm
Right.
saying? That's the Second Amendment. But the part that always gets omitted from the Second Amendment is the first two lines of the Second Amendment. It says a well-regulated militia being necessary to secure a free state. You got to think about what was going on at that time in 1776 when they ratified, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. You know what I'm saying? The United States had just formed. So we were still having wars with United Kingdom. We were having wars with Spain. We were having wars with the Native Americans. We were still, right. Beating them back. So that's why you had to have that's the sole, not to say sole, but that was the main purpose behind the Second Amendment. But for me personally, no, I'm not a gun carrier. I couldn't see myself carrying a gun.
I used to be the same way, and I was not. I've never been anti-gun, but I never owned a gun until January 6th occurred, and the reason for that
let me stop you. Let me stop you. So why were you afraid something was going to happen? What was why did you want to get a gun? Okay,
I felt like
honest.
This was not the country that I thought it was, or that I had hoped it would be. I didn't realize there were so many people who felt the way those people who attacked the Capitol did, and I felt like if it came down to it, those people would probably see me as an enemy. I didn't necessarily see it as a black and white thing, of course. Well, I shouldn't say of course, but that's not the way I looked at it. I just saw that there are attitudes in the country that I was not previously aware of. And I felt the need to at least be able to somewhat protect myself should there be something larger that were to occur. And so that was my first time buying a gun. And now I own multiple guns. I don't carry into everywhere, but I keep one with me in the car at least. And so I definitely believe everybody should be able to protect themselves should the need come down to it. That's my philosophy in regard to guns.
Okay.
One of them.
So why didn't you learn karate? You could have learned karate instead of, getting the gun. You could have done that, could have, made yourself a weapon. Huh?
That's true.
Why you choose the gun?
That is very true. And when I think back on it, I probably should have just learned karate because, if you get the chop just right, you can stop a bullet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so how they stopping no bullet? But so you said that was the first time you ever felt that, to the need to want something to defend yourself with?
It felt very real that there could be something larger to break out. And in my lifetime, in my conscious lifetime, nothing like that had ever happened. And it looked like people who were, and again, I'm not saying it's white people because it's not just white people. It's people with differing ideologies who could see themselves in Civil War. I always say, well, if you go to Civil War, who are you going to know to attack? If it's not based on color, but obviously it's
of course it'll be
deeper than that.
Color,
let me ask both of you this, because I know, like I said, I've never even shot a gun, but I did have a BB gun with a CO2 cartridge. You know what I'm saying? I know just that little bit of gun, it feels like power. So what does it feel like to you when you're shooting your gun? How do you feel? You know what I'm saying? How does that make you feel when you're shooting your gun?
It's not so much how it makes me feel, but when you shoot a gun, and if you've never shot one before, it is the most powerful thing that you've ever held. You just a 9 millimeter. Like I have a Glock 9 millimeter. That's one of my guns. It's so powerful, and the boom is so deafening. You realize this is not a toy. That's that graduation from BB gun to the real thing. This is not something that you want to have in your hand and joke about. It is a weapon of destruction, basically. I have a less powerful rifle that is good for target practice and everything. You just realize this is not something to play with. That's the feeling that you get. You realize also you never are going to pull your gun unless you're in a very serious situation. If you go to the gun range, one of the things they teach you is not to joke around. My ex-girlfriend and I taught her how to shoot there, and we used to play a lot in certain situations, but that was the first thing I told her. Look, do not act a fool in here with these guns, and she was wise enough to take that seriously. So it's that realization that this is not something to joke about.
Okay.
Well, yeah. If a gun make a person feel powerful, that's not the right way to feel with a gun. And I think them the kind of people you have an issue with. A gun is just something that should be used for defense, or offense if you at war, and it's various types of war. But I mean, coming up, I had a few guns. I've been around guns, seeing guns, not personally being shot at, but being with people that has been shot at, or just being at the club, growing up, and pretty much a gang culture around here. I mean, I'm pretty much used to guns. So, but one thing, I never be around somebody that play with guns. And I will leave out the room. I mean, just waving guns or just, playing around with them, want to cock them, and I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna get up and leave. Being young and knowing a couple of people that got killed, and homeboys and stuff like that. Like, so guns are very serious to me. I believe some people do need to have training though. Like, I think that should almost be mandatory. Maybe depending on the age, maybe depending on some kind of psychological issues that may be noticed. I don't know. But sometimes it do seem like it is too easy. But I do realize it's not the guns that kill people, it's people that kill people. So I also stand by that.
On that note, that's the argument that we often hear in the news whenever there's gun violence. Is it a gun problem or is it a people problem? Do guns kill people or do people kill people? RJ, what's your take on this question?
I think and Izzy hit it. It's like, I think it's honestly, well, it's a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? The ease of getting a gun, using Georgia, for example, it's real easy to get a gun. To buy a handgun, you just need to be 21 years old. You don't need to pass a background check unless you actually buy your gun in a gun shop. If you're 18 years old, you could buy a rifle and an AR-15, which was the guy, tried to kill Trump with. That's considered a rifle. And you could be 18 years old and just go ahead and purchase one of those. So it's, and there's no mandatory training that comes with that. So that's the gun part of it. Then there's the people part of it. You've got got a big issue with mental illness here in the United States. You got 20, the Mental Health Association, which is a nonprofit. They did a study. It says 21% of adults, which is 50 million people, are experiencing a mental illness, and that's just the people that have the desire, they got the support, and they got the money to actually go to a doctor to tell them that they have a mental illness. You got other, you got millions of people out here still running around with them, not undiagnosed. So
exactly.
It's both a people and a gun problem.
But that shows you the extremities of this country. Like everything is so damn extreme and polarized, and it's like it's never no balance. And I know I constantly and continuously talk about balance, man. It's like one side absolutely don't want guns, and the other side think you should have guns with no restrictions. No, it got to be it has to be a balance. Like a certain age, like especially the younger you are, it probably should be mandatory training. If you've had any kind of
I think if you buy a gun, you should be trained on. I mean that if you unless you're unless you're hunting or that if you're using it for personal defense, or protection, definitely you should be trained on how to protect yourself with that gun. If you're hunting, I'm sure you're gonna have somebody with you that's gonna help you, train you on how to hunt, and shoot that gun.
And I will say one thing I do agree with that. I hear one point that I hear a lot of people that really believe in the Second Amendment. A lot of the gun laws that they talk about or that they suggest, it would hurt the regular person more than it would a street person, because I mean,
what you mean?
I mean, the more restrictions you put on it, only the responsible carriers are going to be hurt by it, because people in the street get them on the black market. It's not going to hurt them. That to me is the biggest issue. That to me is the biggest issue. And I mean they need to find a way to profile people. I hate to say it like that, but I mean they profile. No, I'm being serious. They profile black people all the time. I mean, if you want to put laws out there, I mean, look at the guy that tried to attempt to assassinate Trump. I mean, these people do have a certain look. And that's something. Yeah, they have a certain look. What Candy say, she said they got the soy boy look, but but no, it's definitely something else other than that. But they do have a certain look. I mean,
so Izzy, it sounds like you're saying it's more of a people problem than it is a gun problem.
Yes,
that's what he's saying. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah. Now, do I feel like a 18-year-old should be able to go buy an automatic?
No.
A pistol, a hunting rifle? Yeah.
Right. No.
The automatic? Nah. I don't. I mean, it got to be some kind of level of common sense. But that is a right that I believe is more than just the Constitution. I believe that's a God-given right, the ability to protect yourself, your property, and your loved ones. So, but it does need to be some kind of restrictions.
Earlier, Izzy, and I was gonna let you slide when you were talking about, you was comparing countries. The United States is number one. If you're comparing United States to other industrialized, high income nations, we lead the world, in gun violence. The only other countries that are above us are countries that are led by gangsters, like Central America, like the Caribbean, Jamaica, Trinidad, all those countries. They lead, as far as gun violence, but look at how their governments are set up.
Well, I guess I'm saying what I was trying to get across was a lot of the issues I see, those the countries that you're talking about, they have the wherewithal, the political knowledge, the heart to get out in the streets and to fight the powers that be. The only difference is they don't have the gun powers, because their laws are so strict and I was kind of like talking in contrast to how the United States is. We have all the guns, but we're so hypnotized and against each other and won't work together. And that's the difference. It's like polar opposites. And I feel like if we could get the knowledge and the information and the unity and stuff like that, I just feel like it'll be a better. I think the guns is what is the one thing that's keeping us from actually being enslaved here. You can call me a conspiracy theory, but I guarantee you, if we allow them to take the guns from our hands, the next day we'll be enslaved. All of us, not just black people, white people too.
That's a part of what the Second Amendment is about, is it not? That
What?
the people can maintain the ability to protect themselves from the government. So that type of slavery.
I see. I guess it's all in how you interpret it, because I don't read it that way. I'm reading this that you're working in conjunction with the government. I mean, that's how I'm interpreting what the Second Amendment says. You know, when it was written in 1791. You know,
And see,
you know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking, and not that you're going to rise up against the government. I can't see a newly formed nation putting a law into effect that says, hey, you can arm yourselves to overthrow us. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't, and I guess that's the ambiguity of the law. You know, it's also so that the people can protect themselves from the government, and that's very important.
Somebody had the foresight to understand that a government could be corrupt and become, you know, so I think that's why it was put like that. So I think it was meant for the regular people, not just militia. It was meant for the common man.
So these people that had people enslaved in 1791, they were geniuses. Well, is that what we're saying? They had the foresight. Come on, man. Come on.
You gotta remember who you're talking to now. I don't necessarily subscribe to the common fact that the Constitution was written by the people they said it was.
Right. It's like you know,
I definitely don't believe that.
We take the Constitution like how some people interpret the Bible. It's like, oh, okay, or we like the Old Testament, but excuse me, I take it back. We like the New Testament, but we don't like the Old Testament when they're doing all that and that. And that's how we pick and choose kind of what's going on with the Second Amendment or even the Constitution overall. It's like, you know,
RJ, what's this argument? And excuse me, Izzy, I just want to touch on RJ. What are you arguing when you said that we're just supposed to believe these slave owners wrote this document? What are you arguing exactly?
Saying because you're saying that they had the foresight to see that, you know, we can, for the people to rebel against their own government, and I just don't see that being their thinking when they wrote the Second Amendment. I just don't see that that they would interpret it that way.
But, and again, you know, I'm definitely not pro slave owner, but
I'm not. You
came from
discount that. I'm just saying them as in general. Like, why would you put that in your laws to say that, you know, in the event, I don't know, that we get out of hand, you can overthrow us? I don't see that. I don't know.
But I feel like when they were writing it, whoever wrote it was writing from the stance of we are the people against whatever governments might come about then or in the future. That's the way I've always read it.
Okay.
And of course,
we'll agree to disagree on that point right there.
Yeah, and you know, we're just trying to gain understanding, of course. So
I'm of this mindset, the correct mindset over here. But I'm not done with it either. So
no, we're not trying to leave.
So how do they manage it? You know, we love the monarchy. We love England. You know, I don't say we. I'm just saying Americans in general. They love England. You know, how do they do it? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't buy a handgun in England. It's saying, and half of their police don't even carry guns. How do they do it?
How do you do what? How
do they survive? Now, how do they go about day-to-day business without guns? I mean,
I
that
mean,
is
that's why they be.
that's
That's
a
why the other
rhetorical
countries
question,
be
but
having so many issues because they
say
don't
again.
have guns. I mean, that's why they be having so many issues. But we do too. It's just sometimes I wish we could just take guns and give them to the people in the other country because they do that, but not for the right reasons. But
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah,
they do that, but not for the right reasons.
right.
But guns are a necessity, man. Like I say, that's the one thing I will agree with any Republican home any day is guns are a necessity.
Mm.
All right. So in 1996, Australia had its national firearms agreement. This is where they did buybacks of a lot of firearms. They developed a firearm registry. Owners of guns had to be 18 years or older, and in order to use a gun, you had to be 12 years or older, which is, why not let the 12-year-olds own guns too, I say. But the results were they had less murder with guns. They greatly cut down on mass murders, and we probably are saying murder a lot, but there was still crime. As you know, a lot of these countries that don't have a lot of guns in the hands of citizens, they still have crime. There's a lot of stabbings and murders still happen. So there's not a lot of evidence that it cuts down crime, but it's harder to kill a lot of people when there are not guns.
Right.
So realistically,
you're not gonna do a drive-by knife. You're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do that.
Right. Exactly. So we know how difficult it is to take guns away from people. And again, I don't think any of us are saying we want to do that. So what can realistically be done?
Well, speak for yourself. You didn't ask me.
I thought.
you didn't ask.
So you
go ahead,
think,
brother. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No. Well, let's touch that. You think it's okay to take people's guns away, RJ?
Well, I mean, it'll be difficult, but you can start by not selling certain guns. Like, what do you need AR-15 for? You're not going hunting with it. It's a murder weapon. Is it? That's solely what its purpose is. I mean, yes, it is. I mean, what is it?
One could say it's a weapon to stop the government from attacking your house.
It a murder weapon, man. It's for defense too. I mean,
yeah.
Any weapon can be used to unalive somebody. It's just that simple. But
right, but
that's one of the common points that Democrats always use is, what do you need that much power for? But yet the police will have it. The FBI.
You think it's only? You think it's just? You think it's
all kind of agencies will have? Why do you have it?
You think it's just Democrats that are against it? Is that?
No, I'm saying that's one of the points they use all the time is, why do you need that much power in a gun? That's almost like saying, if you haven't done anything wrong, then allow me to search your car without probable cause, or let me ID you without suspicion of a crime, or it's just foolishness. Like, it don't matter that I don't need that much stopping power in your mind. If 3 armed men come in my house, I don't want a pistol. I want a shotgun, and I may want an AR, depending on who is in my house. Because bullets go through walls. So me personally, I probably prefer a shotgun. But yeah,
that's my choice. I mean, how often does that happen? I mean, who's this happening to?
One time is all it takes. One time is
all it takes. Come on, man.
And see, something you said earlier, you said, if a place is dangerous or violent somewhere, you just won't go. But you never know. We live in a world where anything can happen. And I'm a man of faith. I always believe I walk with the Most High with me. But I always keep something on me. regardless, because it's
So
still my
you doubt God's gonna protect you. So that's what you just said to
No,
me
I
just
don't
now.
doubt it. But that's just like saying don't judge people, but then God gave you a brain for discernment. That don't go together. You know what I mean? So yes, I believe I walk in faith. I feel like I'm gonna always come home safe, but at the same time, I know I'm able by that to protect myself. If a man run up on me and about to punch me, I'm not gonna sit there and think his hand gonna just disappear by the grace of God. I'm gonna disable him.
Plus, you can
I'm gonna
be
disable.
sitting in a church and praying in church and still get shot up. These
Yeah,
days, that's
yeah,
happening now. So, you can have all the faith you want.
yeah. Like them black folks that was sitting in church and that dude came in and just killed a few people.
Right.
And that happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, in the United States, where gun violence is a problem, outside of taking people's guns, which we know is not likely to happen, what can be done to curb gun violence?
Train them.
Are
I mean, like I said, we went over it earlier. I mean, I think people that purchase guns need to be trained on how to use these guns. I mean, if we're
then
not
you'll
gonna,
just have people with better shots.
well, maybe
Then they'll
so.
miss.
But
No, you teach discipline and responsibility too, man. I mean,
and as you said it before, it's like I think these people need, background, better background checks. Maybe mental health checks. Certain things need to be done before you can actually say I own a gun or a semi-automatic rifle, if you will. I think just more steps need to be taken before you just say I can take this pistol home with me.
The young man,
Especially here in Georgia. It's so easy in Georgia.
the young
You just go
man
to
that
one of
did
them
the
gun shows
shooting,
and get what you want.
the young man that did the shooting at the Trump rally, it was his father's gun. So,
Okay.
regardless of what had been done at the sale of that gun, his father might have been a total saint, but his son got a hold of the gun. So, yeah, maybe you have to be trained to keep the gun away from other people, which is
Right.
supposed to be
Yeah.
something that happens anyway.
There
Right.
you go. Gun safety. Yeah.
safety measures, locking your gun up in the safe, getting a lock where you need your fingerprint, learning how to handle a gun, not keeping your hand on the trigger, keeping it on the side in a safety position, keeping your gun on safety, not having one chambered. Yeah, stuff like that. See, yeah, that's what training would do. Teach you stuff like that. See, I'm into guns. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know that, and I follow a lot of people on YouTube. I'm big into the Second Amendment thing, the whole movement, and I support it. And I watch a lot of people that just test guns, shoot guns on both sides, the fun of gun shooting and collecting guns and the part with the law. And to me, that's a part people need to be trained in as well. Knowing your rights, knowing safety and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we think that just teaching people gun safety and protecting your gun from other people is enough to curb gun violence.
No, I mean
But
it's a start. It's
It's a
definitely not
start.
enough. Yeah, it's a start.
I
I
think,
mean, it's something that should be done. I put it that way. That's how I feel. It's something that should be done.
yeah, I think as people become better employed and better educated, that's when gun violence is going to go down. But we have a lot of people who are just lost, who don't have anywhere to turn to in regard to careers and social life. And you have gangs, and that's where a lot of people are turning when they don't have anything productive to go to.
Right. Well, that's different. You're talking about an illegal element. That's I don't know how you're not going to regulate that. I mean, that's criminal activity. That's something different. I think so.
So you're saying that criminal activity is going to be there regardless. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
But,
I mean, you
but
have to have a deeper conversation about the whole society if you're talking about curbing like gun violence, man. I mean, you got to talk about economics and living conditions and
Yeah, yeah,
wages.
yeah.
You got to talk about um, public services and stop, tearing down gyms and basketball courts. You got to talk about the social political stuff. That's a big conversation right there. That's
Right.
a big conversation because
Yeah.
economics got a lot to do with it. Opportunities got a lot to do with it. So that's a bigger conversation, but it can be done, but it's not gonna happen overnight, regardless what you do. So
yeah, obviously. So let's talk about the assassination attempt a couple of days ago. We were watching TV, and all of a sudden they say there's something going on at the Trump rally, and there's a 20-year-old guy on top of a roof, 100 and some yards away, who's shooting. He apparently hits Trump in the ear and hits a couple of other people. We now know that one gentleman in the audience is dead.
Two, I think. I think there's two, if I'm not mistaken.
Another one has died. Wow.
Yeah.
So, do you think this seals the deal for a Trump win, RJ?
No, not at all. I think the people that were for him are emboldened, but I don't think it increases his support. I don't. And as a matter of fact, Biden's poll numbers went up. If you believe poll numbers, his poll numbers went up on Monday. So that tells you right there. It's no, I don't believe it at all.
Izzy, I
But
think you said that this just about seals the win for Trump. Do you still feel that?
I think it will because Trump might as well be Superman right now, man. Like he survived the assassination attempt. I mean, because to me, he was already doing better than Biden. And then, this is just like I agree with what RJ said. It's just going to embolden his base already and probably pull a few people, though. I mean, because I know a lot of people thinking, well, he must be right or the better man because they're trying to kill him. And you got a lot of conspiracy theories out there. And normally I would be on that, but I'm just sitting back waiting to see what other stuff going to come out about it before I make any judgment as far as that level.
The conspiracy that his side, that Trump's people will orchestrate this, I think that's a little crazy that they would actually kill people or risk killing people. There's other things they could have done. So I don't understand that conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you'll be surprised, man. And that's why I say I'm a truther, not a conspiracy theorist, because I mean, it's nothing to go on to say that, to even suggest that it's a false flag or anything like that. So I'm staying away from that. If other information come out, then
what'd you say? You said a false flag? What would you say?
Yeah, false flag.
What's that?
An act committed or perpetrated against a country or like a person like Trump to sway or to cause something to come about, but something that was planned pretty much, like 9/11.
May I jump in, Izzy? Because
yeah.
Well, I thought, and I'm not trying to. Well, I guess I am trying to correct it. I want to get my understanding. I thought a false flag was like, so when the events of January 6th, they were saying that was Antifa doing the breaking into the Capitol, and that Antifa was under the false flag of being Trump supporters. So I thought a false flag was where you assume the identity of one group in order to commit an act and so as to put the blame on them. Am I wrong about that?
I mean, all that is within the realm of it. I mean, whether you talking about the towers, whether you talking about Pearl Harbor, whether you talking about Sandy Hook, um, it ain't always got to be portrayed like another country or your enemy. It could be like a lot of people felt like Sandy Hook was a false flag, and because they was trying to get laws enacted to restrict guns. And I mean, they probably could say the same thing about this, because the first thing I noticed though was they mentioned AR. They made sure they said AR, but yet I don't remember seeing the gun. I don't know. I've watched a few videos and they haven't showed the gun, but it's like the AR is the gun of choice to like bring about gun laws. Like that's, I guess they just made it the poster child of violence. So yeah, that's what a false flag is. But that what you said is within the scope, because I guess you could say that about Pearl Harbor. Because a lot of conspiracy theories believe that United States perpetrated that so that they could go to war.
Oh, this is the
Just
first
like,
I've heard that.
yeah.
Wow. Have
I
you
mean,
heard that,
man,
RJ?
you'll be surprised how many theories are out there. I mean, it's
No, but
funny,
I haven't heard it, but I can see that. I mean, I can see that.
Oh,
yeah.
that's very interesting. Wow. Wow. Do we think that Trump will do anything about gun laws as a result of this?
See, that's what I was talking about earlier at work. It's nothing he can say really bad about it, because he been pushing the Second Amendment right so much, and the people on the right side or whatever, they push that so much, he really can't say nothing about it. Not nothing negative. He can't say nothing about it.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way.
No,
It's
I mean, think about it. We've had no, it says Democrats are the ones trying to take the gun. We've had Democrats with consecutive terms. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. Not once did they ever try to take away. Well, I take it back. Maybe I know Barack did something, but I don't think they ever tried to actually take away the guns. So it's both sides that actually are in my opinion, that are for the guns in this Second Amendment interpretation, if you will.
yeah. I think.
Definitely. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just saying. I think that the most we've seen is trying to get rid of things such as what's it called, the bump stocks that can turn
Right.
semi-automatic weapon into acting like an automatic weapon, things of that sort, so that basically people don't have military style weapons, and weapons greater than that of what the police and the military themselves has. I think that's been the most amount of restrictions we've seen. Go ahead, Izzy.
Yeah, but you have people constantly fighting so that we can keep our rights. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been a very interesting topic. There's a lot of things that are going to come out of this, and it's going to be an interesting few days. Anything else y'all wanted to talk about, RJ?
No, but like Izzy said, this topic of guns, it's multifaceted. If we're gonna talk about gun violence in in the inner cities, that's a totally different topic, or definitely more layers to it than just what we're getting to right now, or just what we have discussed just now. So leave it at that.
Okay. Izzy.
And I did look up a couple of facts.
Okay.
Of course.
That's my territory. I'm the fact man.
I did look up a couple of stats though.
Okay.
So according to what I can find, Andrew Jackson was the first president to experience an assassination attempt.
Your name say Andrew, huh?
Andrew Jackson,
Okay.
January 30th, 1835. The attempt failed because of misfiring of the pistol. And after that, 4 other presidents: Abraham Lincoln, James A. Garfield, William McKinley, and John F. Kennedy, of course. And talking about a conspiracy theories, Lee Harvey Oswald, the one that supposedly killed John F. K., he denied it up until the time he died. So,
Right.
yeah, he denied it. And let's see, some other president was injured during the attempted assassination. Ronald Reagan, of course, by John Hinckley Jr., 1981. That was a good year. Theater, and not because of that, but the year I was
That's the year you were born, right?
but the year I was born.
Okay. All right.
Theodore Roosevelt, that was in 1912, and the most recent one, Donald Trump, by Thomas Matthew Crooks, 2024. Yeah.
What a name! What a name, though, right? That's a name for you.
Yeah. That's what I recognize immediately too, like Crooks. That really fit. Like,
wow.
So, yeah, but Trump got lucky though, man. I was listening to one of the guys they had on there who was a former sniper, and he was saying that the guy was any more skilled, Donald Trump would have been dead.
Oh, he turned his head too, like right at the last second.
Right at the last minute. Yeah.
So
I don't want to say that was God. I don't want to say that was God, but he definitely got lucky that he turned his head. Because the guy was saying that when they train anything within 300 yards, they train them to hit. I guess what he just said called it was something about a T, but it's like the crosshairs, and so headshots pretty much. Anything beyond that, they teach them to hit center mass. So yeah. Oh,
but that's the whole thing. This guy was just a kid, so he probably had very little training.
So if he was trained, like I said, then
how old was it? 20?
He was 20. Right.
Yeah, well, he ain't no damn kid then, because if he was black, he'd be a grown ass man. When he was a grown man.
Good point.
Yeah, he was a grown man.
I agree with you totally. I agree with you totally. Yeah.
So he was a grown man. He knew what he was doing, and he got justice. So yeah, but yeah, Donald Trump was lucky though. But totally you saw the ego come out, and that's what made people think it was staged, because he took the. Now you don't know, but see, that's Donald Trump's ego too. How do you know it wasn't a second sniper, man? From the time the shot grazed him, and they, unalived the guy, to the time the Secret Service came and crowded him, that was a short period of time. It could have been a second sniper to see what was going on and waiting for the commotion to die down and pick you off again. But you sitting here doing this right here.
But his Secret Service people allowed him to do that, though. I mean, you got the one short woman.
People think it was staged. That's why people think it was staged.
But I'll tell you, the most incredible thing to me was how calm some of the people in the audience were, and they were just. It shows you how powerful taking videos on cell phone. People were they were risking their lives to get videos and pictures on their phones. It was the craziest, like, human behavior I'd ever seen captured on film.
Yes.
Yeah, when you in situations like that, like your drive to do something that's not right for you, it overrides common sense sometimes, man. Because I instantly noticed that too. It was a lady behind Donald Trump. She liked this right here. Yeah. Now you supposed to be ducking.
And I guess she assumed they shooting at him, not me. But that's just totally illogical.
Behind him thought too, to that bullet popped him in the head. So like I said, that was a bunch of black folk, man. That shit would have cleared out in 15 minutes.
You're right about that.
I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. But I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, you've been to the club, Diedrich, when come on now.
I've never been to the club when it got shot up.
You've never been to the club?
Not when it got shot up.
Oh, okay.
You been to a club that got shot up? RJ?
Oh, plenty times. Yeah.
Man, listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
man,
have
I done
Yeah.
seen
not.
a
I
guy.
have not. I've heard. I know
Yeah.
people who have, but I've been very fortunate.
When I say plenty, I don't mean plenty. I mean several. Several.
But I
Several,
gotta
There
tell
yeah.
have been
y'all,
several instances, yes, in my
I
younger, not so smart days. Yeah.
I grew up as a Trump fan. I admired that he had the pretty ladies, he had the money, the rappers used to hang around with him. When he moved into politics, I was not a fan because of a lot of the things I learned about him. But when he got up and put his fist in the air,
Yeah.
I admired
You were
that.
you were sold.
I
That was
said,
it for you.
that's a
That's
smart
my
man right
guy.
there. Because
Uh-uh.
even in the face of death, he knows he's got to play for the win. He put
Right.
his fist up in the air. Yeah, look at me. They can't take me down. Yeah, I admired that. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. He got you. All right. He
No, no,
got you.
he didn't got me. I just thought that was a baller move. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
It definitely was bold. I don't know if it was bold or stupid, but yeah, he lucky it won a second one, waiting on him.
Yeah.
But
Right.
But
very
like I was
low.
saying, that little lady that was in front of him, she couldn't even cover his face.
Yeah.
They did a poor job. If there was a second shooter, the Secret Service and the DEI, they did a poor job of protecting him. But to me,
Yeah,
they
it was.
should
They
have
did a
had
good job. You
had
said a
him
poor
low.
job.
Let's
Say
say
what
that
You
now?
said
again,
they did
RJ.
a poor job.
Yeah,
Poor, a poor job.
he still should have been low. They should have had him low and just got him out of there. Instead, he's pumping his
Well,
fist.
you know that was a
Hold
big thing too. Candace Owens and the other little skinny little what they call an incel guy that she used to be on the show with. They was talking about
Tucker Carlson.
what you say?
Tucker Carlson.
Not Tucker. It's the other little skinny one. He's a small. He's one of the small hats.
Oh.
Okay. Well, they was talking about how because of DEI, they put all these women in positions that they should have men. And they showed the video of the woman trying to holster her gun and pull it out. And so
Oh
she
my
said,
God.
so she took the chance to sell herself in the moment, and her ideologies in the moment. They both did. I forgot the guy name. He's real skinny, just a little dweeb, honestly. That just been given the spotlight like they always get. But yeah, so she went in on that saying, women have no place in positions like that, and that men do that kind of job better.
Yeah.
So that was a big point she had made.
Right.
So
Right.
I just thought that was interesting. Candace Owens is very interesting.
Well, I think the big question that everybody's been asking: how did this guy get on a roof, get a rifle up on the roof, able to take his time to aim at Trump, get multiple shots off? That's a big security failure.
Right. And they were so quick to eliminate him. And that, what I'm saying? So it's like they knew exactly where to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
You had
also,
your one chance to get.
I'm not sure, and I apologize, Izzy. I'll let you finish in a moment. People had told the police that the guy was on the roof prior to him
Right.
starting to shoot. I don't know if y'all heard that.
Right.
And
Yeah, I heard that.
they didn't respond in time. So it's going to be interesting to see the fallout from all of this.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying I wanted to wait until more facts came out before I drew any conclusions for my theories, because I also seen the video of the guy saying that he reported that and they did nothing. That's something else that's strange. Why wouldn't y'all check that out? Like that don't make sense at all.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was allowed to get there.
Mm.
And we're gonna let you get these 1 or 2 shots off. You didn't do it, and you gotta go. But who knows? I'm gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Hmm.
All right. Well, again, a very, very interesting week so far. And we'll continue to pay attention and talk about the fallout, like I said. RJ, anything else you
Yeah.
wanted to talk about at the moment?
Nah, good lively conversation. We don't have all the answers, but we're just we're presenting it for people to ponder. That's all.
Absolutely. Izzy, what else is going on with you? You got something else you want to say?
No, not really, man. Everything just been flowing. I'm gonna stay in the flow and just been enjoying y'all guys, and everything is good, man. No complaints for real.
Glad to
I ain't
hear it,
just
bro.
saying that everything flowing.
Glad to hear it. Well, this has been a great moment with of two mindsets. Asking all of you who are watching to please go ahead and hit the thumbs up and like us. Also, subscribe to the channel so that you can catch us whenever we let a video out. And please go back and watch some of our previous videos. We got some pretty entertaining conversations in the past. So this has been Of Two Mindsets. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you all next time. Peace.
All right.
Yeah.